In terms of importance, Social Security simply is unparalleled. Each month, over 62 million eligible beneficiaries receive a benefit check from the Social Security Administration, and nearly 43 million of them are retired workers. Now, while many baby boomers understand that waiting to claim Social Security can lead to higher benefits, that isn't the only strategy to maximize retirement income. And my guest is Doug Ferrell in Salt Lake City, Utah. So Doug, begin by talking about how you know whether to claim benefits at age 62 or age 70.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest question marks for most people with Social Security is, when do I take it? How do I maximize it? What's the best way and approach? There's a lot of different things that come into play there. As you typically at 62 would be the early stages of Social Security benefit taking. And then at full age retirement, there's another status that is determined by the Social Security. And at 70 is what I call have to. And so when you look at those different things, you think about the other pieces of the pie. If I'm, there may be health concerns that could be a desire to get income faster. I had a relative of mine who was told by his boss when he retired that he should take Social Security just as soon as he could. Well, when he did that, he started at age 62. When I talked to him, we were going over the bottom line, and it looked like because he had a pension and a few other elements that he could have easily handled his needs for income during that early stage, that if he would have waited just a few years, it meant about $500 more a month. You know, and so if you times that by a few years, take 10 years, you know, you're looking at maybe $50,000, $60,000 over a lifetime that at that point could have been used for other needs and income. So when you look at whether you take it at 62 early or at full retirement, there's definite reasons, and the need to look at that is very important for the long term of the retirement planning.
So one complex area of Social Security are spousal benefits. Talk about how couples can maximize their benefits.
Yeah, this is a really important feature, I believe, that a lot of times people have no idea. I can't tell you how many times people come in and they say, what's a spousal benefit and how does that work? And so I was in St. George, Utah, and I was meeting with a couple, and they were in their 70s. And the guy said to me, hey, no need to talk about Social Security, we're already taking it. And I said, interesting. And so I said, just humor me and tell me what you're doing, what's your strategy? And so they relayed how they were taking their benefits. And within about 2 minutes, I realized that, hey, they were missing out on about $600, no, actually $750 to be exact, a month. And so this was a big deal over time, and they were in their 70s. So as I added up those numbers, it was quite a big number, that $70,000 or so that they were missing out on during that time frame. And so by just simply switching to one of the solutions with a spousal benefit, they were able to capture $750 more a month. Now, when somebody's in their 70s, that makes a big difference to the bottom line.
So we hear a lot of news about Social Security not being around for everybody. Is that something people really need to be concerned about?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Social Security Administration has put out right on your reports and when you get your checks that they're potentially not going to be able to fund only up to 75% of the benefits by the year 2033. And so obviously that would make a concern. One of the biggest groups of individuals that are coming into retirement is right now these baby boomer groups. And so even in this last election, nobody talked about Social Security because it's such a volatile piece that if you said the wrong thing, you're going to affect a lot of votes. And so in my opinion, as the politicians would talk about such a matter, I doubt that they're going to mess around with that. They're going to look for other solutions. And some of those may be the fact that here we have money that's never been taxed before. And you say, well, where's that? Well, that's in a 401k or an IRA. And so we may see that kind of solution. In fact, even in this last tax law that was passed, we heard a conversation along those lines. It was quickly stepped aside and not went any further. But those are the real things that I think are going to happen, because if you mess with somebody's Social Security benefit, you're talking, I mean, that's something that a lot of people are counting on to be part of their retirement plan. And so I doubt that will happen, but there may be other things, taxes, raising those taxes on money that's never been taxed, or even just plain taking our tax plan and making it more more expensive.
So I think everything you talked about here in this interview really leads me to believe that this is pretty complex. So do you think it's important to get professional help?
Well, you know, several of my clients have said this statement that I think is so interesting. They said, Doug, where were you 10 years ago? And, you know, I had a friend of mine, one time I was sitting at a seminar I was doing on Social Security. And, you know, I was talking and he came up and he said, hey, Doug, I can figure this out. I know how those benefits work. And he had like a stack of books about, 10 inches high. And he said, I'm a mathematician. That's what I do for a living. I'm going to figure this thing out. And so he went away and he came back in 2 weeks. And he probably had one of the most puzzling, challenging, discouraged look on his face. And he said, Doug, I got within 5 cents of figuring this out. You know, for a mathematician, you might as well have been a football field away. And so the complications of what and how they calculate this Social Security benefit is very unique, and I think it's meant to be that way. So I think the vast majority of our clients are really appreciative of the fact that we know how to navigate those waters, to how to maybe not make the mistakes that could affect your long-term retirement planning, because Social Security is definitely a piece that's in that bucket.
Doug, thanks again.
You bet. It's been great to be with you.
That's Doug Ferrell in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you're watching Retirement News Online.